Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a deeply confusing and, let's be real, incredibly frustrating dynamic that so many people experience in dating. You meet someone, the connection is absolutely fantastic, everything feels like it's moving in the right direction, and then, boom, suddenly they just create all this distance. Why does this happen? Well, the source material we're looking at today identifies 10 distinct reasons for this behavior. I've gone ahead and structured these into clear, digestible themes to help us really wrap our heads around the psychology at play. Okay, let's dive into this.
Imagine this, right? Everything seemed absolutely perfect. You're getting those sweet good morning texts, he literally can't wait to see you, the compliments are flowing, the dates are all planned out. And then, almost overnight, the temperature just drops. The whole dynamic shifts completely. You're suddenly left staring at your phone, asking yourself this one jarring question. What happened? It's a total whiplash effect, and it can leave you feeling completely disoriented.
You see, you're operating under the expectation of continued warmth. You know, the morning texts, the eagerness. But the new reality you're suddenly facing? It's short, one-word replies. He completely stops initiating conversations. The physical and emotional distance just grows. This sudden shift from hot to cold leaves you scrambling for answers, trying to bridge the gap between what was and what is. It's like a giant puzzle with missing pieces.
Naturally, our brains absolutely hate unsolved puzzles. So what do? We turn inward. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how our immediate instinct contrasts with the actual truth. We immediately shoulder this heavy baggage of self-blame. We think, oh, I must have said something wrong, or maybe I'm just not enough, or it's my fault. But as the sources reveal, the truth is often entirely uncoupled from your self-worth. As you'll see, it's frequently about his readiness, his external circumstances, or just fundamental compatibility. Honestly, it's very often not about you at all.
So, Theme 1, Circumstance and Alignment. Let's look at this first grouping of reasons.
Sometimes, this sudden withdrawal has absolutely nothing to do with lost feelings, but rather with external realities and fundamental life goals. Reason 1 is simply that you're looking for different things. In the beginning, that early excitement is kind of blinding, isn't it? It easily masks fundamental differences. But as the dust settles and you really get to know each other, he might just realize your goals don't align. Maybe you want a serious, long-term commitment and he doesn't. Or perhaps your core values and lifestyles just clash. This is absolutely crucial. It's not about someone being the wrong or bad person. It's strictly a matter of compatibility.
The second reason under this theme is that life just becomes overwhelming. Look, not every shift in communication is caused by fading romantic feelings. Just look at these external factors: intense work pressure, sudden family responsibilities, financial stress, or even health concerns. Major life changes can cause people to retreat right into their shells. Some people withdraw from everyone when they're overwhelmed, even the people they genuinely care about. Now, while it doesn't excuse poor communication, it's a really powerful reminder not to assume that every period of silence is a personal rejection.
Theme 2, Fear and Avoidance. Let's move to and see how this builds.
Here we transition from external circumstances into deeper psychological barriers, basically emotional unreadiness. This covers reasons 3 and 6 from our source list. First up, the thrill of the chase. Some people genuinely love the excitement of pursuing someone. The attention is intoxicating, but when things get real and the responsibility of commitment looms, well, they panic. If interest evaporates the exact moment things get meaningful, they were chasing the high, not the connection. Similarly, someone can genuinely like you but still be totally emotionally unready. They might be healing from a tough breakup or intensely focused on their own personal goals. Again, this doesn't mean they're malicious. It just means it's entirely the wrong season of their life for a relationship. Then there's reason 4, and this is a big one: the fear of vulnerability. Society sometimes tells us otherwise, but men deeply fear emotional closeness and getting hurt too. The paradox here is that the closer you get, the higher the risk of pain. If he has a history of painful relationships, his instinct might literally be to pull the ripcord and create distance right when things start to feel serious and safe. In these cases, it's not because he doesn't care. Actually, scratch that. It's because he cares enough to be terrified of the potential pain.
Our third theme is relationship decay, which shifts our focus to the mechanics of the relationship itself.
This brings us to reason number 7, the end of the honeymoon phase. As we know, the beginning of a relationship is flooded with intense excitement and curiosity. But biologically and psychologically, those intense emotions naturally have to settle down over time. Healthy relationships absolutely survive this drop because they rely on trust, shared values, and consistent effort to keep growing. However, if his interest fades the second the novelty wears off, it pretty much shows he was just seeking excitement, not trying to build a genuine, lasting connection. Compounding this are reasons 5 and 8, unbalanced effort and communication breakdowns. A healthy dynamic requires 2 oars in the water, right? If you're doing literally all the texting, planning every date, and keeping every conversation alive, the relationship becomes heavily unbalanced. Add to that unspoken feelings and unmet expectations. Many connections don't explode in one massive argument. They suffer a slow death by 1,000 unspoken feelings. Small misunderstandings accumulate over time, and emotional distance quietly, almost invisibly, replaces emotional closeness.
Now for our 4th section, the reality check.
Reason 9 is simple, but wow, is it frustrating. He's just unsure. The truth is, not everyone reaches a point of certainty at the exact same pace. Sometimes a guy just needs to step back and reflect on whether this is truly right for him. Now, needing time doesn't automatically mean he's losing interest. However, if this period of uncertainty stretches on and on without any honest communication, you cannot be expected to just wait in limbo forever. And this brilliantly illustrates our 10th reason: consistent actions always reveal true intentions. It is incredibly easy to say all the right things, but that merely creates a temporary illusion of commitment. If the reality is that he repeatedly disappears, makes excuses, or leaves you feeling confused, that action reveals the actual truth: poor commitment. The only thing that builds genuine trust and connection is consistent effort and actually showing up. You really have to believe the pattern of behavior over the poetry of his words. Moving on to Section 5, the solution. What should you actually do? Here is your highly actionable playbook. Step 1, do not panic, and absolutely do not flood his phone with messages trying to force a connection. Step 2, give him a little space. Just let the dynamic breathe for a minute. Step 3, turn your focus right back to your own life. Continue investing heavily in your friendships, your personal goals, and your growth. Do not put your life on hold for anyone. And finally, Step 4, if the distance continues despite giving him space, it's time to initiate a direct, honest conversation. And if you're wondering exactly how to start that conversation, here's a direct script provided by the source material. I've noticed we've seemed more distant lately. Is everything okay? It's great because it's non-accusatory, it simply observes a fact, and it invites a response. Say this, and then, and this is the critical part, listen very carefully. Once he answers, watch closely to see if his subsequent actions actually match his words.
So, the crucial point is this. The right relationship won't require you to constantly chase reassurance. It's absolutely natural to wonder why someone pulls away, but you cannot lose yourself trying to decode every single delayed text message. A healthy relationship is built on mutual interest, honest communication, and 2 people equally willing to show up. If you're constantly confused about where you stand, well, that confusion itself is your answer.
You deserve someone whose actions reflect genuine, consistent care. I want to turn it over to you now. Have you ever experienced someone pulling away after showing intense initial interest? Based on what we covered today, what do you think was the real reason behind it? Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read your experiences. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep valuing your worth.